Good morning, everyone. It's a real honor to be here at IAIC 2025 and to open today's discussions. My name is Soham Mukherjee, and I work at the intersection of animal management, behavioral science, and technology. Today, I want to share with you how we at Life Science Education Trust are trying to reimagine aviculture and zoo operations, not just as places of care and conservation, but as intelligent, data-driven ecosystems. Zoos, aviaries, and wildlife facilities they're entering into a new era. Global expectations for transparency, welfare, and sustainability have dramatically evolved. Audiences demand higher standards, governments demand accountability, and science demands that our decisions be measurable and evidence-based. However, traditionally our work has been descriptive and reactive. We respond to issues after they arise. However, the world that we live in now requires us to be more proactive and predictive. We are shifting from basic animal care to science-based welfare optimization, where every decision is informed by data, behavior, and long-term impact. Despite all our progress, we still face several persistent challenges. We often rely on fragmented data, which is collected manually and often inconsistently. Behavioral insights are sometimes anecdotal and not measured. Our ability to forecast welfare challenges or plan population management remains limited. One of our biggest gaps, especially in Asia, is the lack of professional training infrastructure for keepers and managers. And this is the reality that we must address if we are serious about transforming our industry. At Life Science Education Trust, we believe that technology alone cannot transform our sector, but people do. That's why we've built this comprehensive training ecosystem to prepare the next generation of animal care professionals. Our 3-month boot camp, animal care boot camp, introduces young people to fundamental principles of behavior, husbandry, nutrition, and enrichment through hands-on training. For those who want to go a little deeper, there's a diploma course, which is a 1-year advanced course in animal care and management, which includes physiology, breeding, habitat design, ethics, and it also includes practical internships in zoos, sanctuaries, and other facilities. We go further and offer internships and university dissertations to students who, the aim for that is to turn these students into, or rather inspire them to become professionals, because this is what is also required in the industry. And we are not limiting ourselves to zoology students or biology students. We are, in fact, opening up for management students, mass communication students, perhaps art students, because we can integrate these different skill sets for the betterment of the zoo-scape and wildlife facilities in general. We also run student exchange programs globally. We do recognize that the best technology is useless if the user is not empowered, informed, or inspired. This brings us to the technological vision that we have. We know that technology does play a very critical role, especially when it is integrated with behavioral science and biological knowledge. At LSET, our vision is to transform zoos from reactive management centers into intelligent ecosystems, systems that learn, adapt, and help us make evidence-based welfare decisions. This is where our work on ants which is, I will talk more about that, comes in. It's not just a piece of software, but it's part of a philosophy, science and systems working hand in hand. Like as you can see on the screen, there are several modules that we've already built and we are using in our various facilities. And like with any good software, it is constantly evolving while working with the end users. So it's never going to go redundant. So the idea is not to replace, but to empower. Technology should never replace the keeper, the biologist, or the aviculturist. Instead, it should empower them, right? It enables precision, prediction, and proactive action. This essentially frees them up to focus on what truly matters: behavioral observations, welfare planning, meaningful enrichment work. It's about amplifying the human expertise, but not substituting it, as we know that there's no substitution for experience. One of the most exciting aspects of ants is the behavior matrix. It automatically recognizes and records behavioral patterns, alerts us to changes in real time, builds long-term databases that allows us to track enrichment effectiveness, social structures, and species-specific behaviors. This means that we can make decisions that are not based on guesswork or assumptions, but on quantifiable behavioral evidence. Ants also transforms how we manage health. Centralized medical records, AI-driven early detection of diseases or stereotypies, integration with diagnostic labs. All these means that we are able to detect the problems earlier and we are able to act much faster. And the best part is that the data retrieval is so quick in real time. For an example, if you have a collection of like 100 birds and you come across a sick bird and you want to know whether this was the same bird that was sick 2 years ago and what kind of drugs were used and what was its weight then, what were the symptoms. You don't have to go through, pages and pages of your records. You just simply click a couple of buttons and you have the data in your hands within a few seconds. So it really enables the user to make very, very informed decisions and to be able to manage huge data sets in a very, very organized manner. There's a module called Bowl Vision, which is, it basically reinforces that nutrition is another cornerstone of welfare. The module tracks consumption patterns, social dynamics around feeding, and preferences. It links dietary data directly to health and behavior. And it allows us to design optimized feeding strategies that go far beyond standardized diets. I'll show you a small clip later in the presentation, which basically you'll understand what it does exactly. There are other modules like the Nest Vision for aviculture and breeding programs. Nest Vision is really a game changer. It is an automated nest box monitoring system which gives you egg alerts and with no real disturbance. It tracks the behaviors of parents. It can inform breeding decisions. The AI incubation protocols, AI-guided incubation protocols will help increase the hatch success and chick survival because everything the machine learns. And the data that we talk about is not just coming out of thin air. It comes from real people, experienced people, experts in the field, and we constantly keep it refining. We keep refining it and we keep building on it. So, like I said, it keeps evolving. So it's always the best version of itself in real time. And all these things eliminate human error. Like imagine you have like 100 nests to monitor. It'll be almost impossible to do it correctly without any compromising, factors. But these technologies can really help you do all of that very effectively. Enclosure designs are no longer just about aesthetics. The IoT-enabled sensors paired up with historical data analysis, they can optimize environmental parameters like temperature, humidity, lighting to meet species-specific needs. Maintenance schedules can be automated, and data-driven insights, they completely help us redesign the spaces within the enclosure for better welfare and resource use. With AI, ML, and predictive analytics, everything comes together. Predictive models, they help us anticipate aggression or stress even before it happens, because there are indicators, before any event that occurs. And if you have a pattern, if you have a practical data set available, then you can train the machine over and over to identify these things, and it can alert you before it actually happens. So behavioral forecasting, of course, then supports strategic decisions on group dynamics, enclosure usage, and breeding readiness. So it's not just about reacting, it's actually about knowing before you need to know, in a way. And of course, it records everything, like right from your diet charts to the times that you need to give the food to whichever animals, to logging your food wastage, to logging your mortality records, to even announcements. We use it as a task management system where the entire team is basically in the same network, and all the announcements are also called out on the software. And by the way, these are real screenshots from the facility that I had. So these are not mock-up data or mock-up images. They're real screenshots of the software. The results of these, the integrated approaches are very powerful. They lower the workload, they reduce operational inefficiencies, and it improves measurable, aspects of the welfare. And of course, ultimately, it results in better breeding outcomes. But most importantly, it gives us the confidence that every decision we make is grounded in science, in data, and behavioral understanding. So it's sort of a mixture of all the good things. What does the future hold? We're only scratching the surface, because it has no limit really, because the more you think about it, if you have an idea and a sort of a practical sense of what can be achieved, it can be achieved really. So it really doesn't limit itself to anything. It could be creating digital twins of animals and exhibits, so you can do so many simulations with these two combinations. It could be robotic enrichment systems. It could be adaptive welfare algorithms that respond dynamically to animal needs. The keeper of tomorrow then becomes much more than a caretaker only. They become a biologist, technologist, and a behaviorist all in one. Here's a short video that essentially will, very briefly show you what really is possible with AI-driven softwares. Here you see a bioidentifier. It also records the food, how much is consumed, how much is wasted, what is preferred, which bird is eating how much, all of that, just with a small camera. Here's the nest camera. It shows the birds, it records the behavior, it records the eggs, it records everything. There's the egg module. You simply keep it on the module and it takes the measurements and weight. You then number the egg for keeping a track of it. We are doing a lot of behavioral monitoring as well, where the usage of enrichment items, space within the enclosure is monitored. Here the bear is going from gate 1 to gate 2, how many seconds it waits where. Here it shows the social dynamics, how the male and the female are still apart, not very comfortable together. Here's the heat map, essentially showing the usage of the enclosure, so you know which are the dead spaces and then you can address them. Here it projects views with grading of the enclosure. Here it can automatically monitor whatever is happening. It could be mating, it could be aggression, and you can generate reports just with the click of a button. So everything is very data centric. Here you can make trail maps, so you know if there is a stereotypical behavior or whatever else is needed to be found out. You can do SOP monitoring if people are doing what they're supposed to do or not. Time logging, of course. Currently we are trying out this new module where we are trying to identify individual animals based on their acoustics. So really there's no limit. You can keep thinking about new stuff and you can make it happen. Where I work, it's a public zoo, it's a large zoo, and we were trying out something called a sentry box, which essentially detects an animal and it alerts you. Now that alert system can be anything. It could be a large sound. So what we are dealing with is we have a lot of free-ranging leopards that come inside the zoo because our zoo is essentially next to a reserve forest. So we have had cases where the leopard essentially surprised our staff a few times. So we want to put these sentry boxes in the peripheries where the leopards enter. And every time it enters, the machine automatically detects. Of course, first it is trained that, what is a leopard? So it goes through a machine learning process where it identifies the leopard. Once it identifies the leopard, it creates these huge noise and sound to deter the animal, and also sends a real-time alert to our security control room. So that way we know a leopard was spotted here. So immediately the quick response team can reach there and manage the situation. Now we thought that this is great. So we take the practical sort of logic and we can use it somewhere else. So I said I deal with a great number of vandalism from visitors. We have these glass enclosures and some people come and bang on the glass and they try to destroy things. Can we identify those behaviors and the surveillance cameras can be connected to the system and it can identify that behavior and immediately send either a voice command in the respected area as well as a real-time alert to the security personnel so they can come and address it. They said, yeah, of course it's possible because it's the same logic. So now we are building that. So like I said, you identify a problem, you come up with the logic in your head, and it's possible to do. It's very easy to do. And that's where we are heading. That brings me to my final point. Technology is no longer optional, especially in today's day. It is foundational. It is the bridge between today's zoos, aviaries, wildlife facilities, and tomorrow's intelligent systems. And we're heading there. We're using so much of technology already in so many other parts, but we're now trying to bring that in the management also. Biology and AI, when they are combined, they don't just change how we manage animals, but they truly enable us to understand them. And before I close, I want to acknowledge something which is deeply important. I share, Tony's not here today, but I shared Tony's observation from yesterday that there are a lot of many young professionals who are emerging from Asia and other places. Of course, we observe that, we see that. And I want to say with great humility that none of what we are doing today would be possible without decades of dedication, knowledge, and hard work laid down by those who came before us. In Indian culture, we hold the teachers, the guides, who are sources of wisdom in the highest regard. And so I stand here today to say thank you. Thank you for building the foundations upon which we stand. And now it becomes a greater responsibility to take the work forward, to continue innovating, and to ensure that the future of AV culture is even brighter. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your presentation. We do have time for one question. If anyone has a question, you can raise your hand.
Sorry, am I audible? Yeah. If you come up with any question, even in the later time, we have a booth outside, and hopefully we'll have our team as well there, so you can catch hold of them and talk to them, not a problem.
Of course. Thank you very much, Soham. Another round of applause, please.
Thank you.